Let's do something really nice for someone else. It's amazing how good you feel about yourself when you do something really nice for somebody else. I'm talking about a philosophy that's other people centered. I'm talking about a procedure that works. I'm going to make this statement. If I could not replace my cassette player in my automobile, $50,000 would not buy the one I have. I would prefer to drive a used Volkswagen with a cassette deck. You've invested your money in the tapes. You've invested your time. I really encourage you to listen and listen carefully. I close with a story. As I've already told you, I was raised down in Yazoo City, Mississippi. We lived next door to some rich folks during the Depression years, and I was over there for lunch one day, as I tried to be every day. And don't misunderstand, even though there was a depression going on, we certainly had plenty to eat at our house. I know we had plenty because if I ever passed my plate, they'd always tell me, I know you've had plenty. So I know we had plenty. On this particular day, the cook brought the biscuits out, and this is not an exaggeration. The biscuits were not as thick as my wristwatch. And I looked at him, I said, Maud, what on earth happened to your biscuits? She reared back, gave that big old tummy laugh, and said, well, I'll tell you about those biscuits. She said they squatted to rise. But she said they just got cooked in the squat. Basically, that's the problem with most people. They get cooked in the squat. They're half a mind to do it, or they're going to do it, but they never take that first step. That's what I'm really saying. How many times you ever seen somebody and they get excited about something but say, it's about time for the kids to get out of school, and we're going to a lot of parties and so forth. Well, the kids get out of school, and then, man, I'll really get involved in it. The kids get out of school and they say, well, I didn't realize it, but I got to take them even more places now than I did at the end of school when I had all the parties going. Wait after the kids get back in school, I'll have more time. Then I'll really get involved in it. Kids get back in school and they say, well, for the first time in 17 years, dear old Central High's finally got a winning football team, and he got to support the kid. Wait till football season is over, and then, man, I'll really get involved. Football season, then they say, well, here it is, Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, and people don't want to be bothered this time of year with all that stuff. Man, wait till after the holidays over, then, man, I'll be ready to go. Oh, now, wait. No, I know exactly what you're thinking, but let me tell you the way it really is now. What I like to do is I get everything lined up. I prepare, I draw a plan of action, I get all ready, and then, man, when I really get started, I'll pass all these other folks, that kind of got the jump on me now. But after the holidays, you just watch. After the holidays, they say, well, the weather. Have you ever seen weather like this in Dallas, Texas, or Denver, Colorado, or Tampa, Florida, or where? Wait till the weather settles down, and then, man, I'll really get busy. The weather settles down, they say, well, here it is Easter, and Easter time is family time. And you yourself said family time is important. I got to spend some time with the family, man. After that, though, man, then you just watch me. I'll really take off. After they do that, then they get the good weather and say, well, I haven't wet a hook or hit a golf ball in I don't know when. And when I do a little bit of that, and you said it yourself, fella can't work all the time. Got to have some recreation time. Wait after that, and then, man, I'll really get busy. And then after they hit a few golf balls, wet the hook a few times, then they say, well, it's almost time for the kids to get out of school. And that's where we came in. People who wait for Aunt Matilda to move out, or John to get on the day shift. People who wait for the tax rate to change, or for the new models to come out. People who wait for the new senator to take office or the new advertising campaign to start. People who wait on changes out there before they do anything in here invariably end up getting cooked in the squad. The message is real clear. This information isn't worth a hill of beans until you put it into action. And then when you put it into action, that's when things happen. I promise you, I've not given you any theories. This is valid information that has been tested and tried by tens of thousands of people, and it works in any language that you want to put it in. That's what I'm talking about. I'm encouraging you to buy the ideas that we've been talking about. Take this to heart, put it to work, and do it now. Because if you do, I close as I always close by saying, if you'll do these things, I will see you. And yes, I really do mean you, not just at the top. Hey, I'm going to see you over the top. Thank you, and God bless you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. You know, sometimes it is fun and exciting. A couple of you were talking as you were walking in, and I couldn't help but overhear one of you say to the other one, well, I can't tell you anymore. I've already told you more than I heard. And, you know, that, like a couple of folks were talking, one of them said, well, you know, I hate to spread gossip, but I don't know what else you can do with it. And, you know, like one fellow said, you know, I hate gossip, so I'm only going to tell you this once. Now, you know, and incidentally, one of the things that intrigues me, I read a study some time back where every third person was either remarkably handsome or amazingly beautiful. Now, what I'd like to get you to do right now is turn directly to the person on your left and look them over real good. No, left. Now turn directly to the person on your right and look them over real good. Now, since it obviously ain't either one of them, then guess who? It's so neat to see so many beautiful ladies here this morning. You know, not only do women dress audiences up so much, but realistically, women are just so much more practical than men. Like this lady down home, bum came up to her on the street and said, ma'am, would you give me $1 for a sandwich? She said, well, not until I've seen the sandwich. Now, you know, that's being practical. Like one lady said, well, I didn't want to marry him for his money, but that was the only way I could get it. Now, you see, that really is being practical. Now, obviously, that one has been reversing itself these last few years, all right? 1989, in December, the redhead and I walked into Prestonwood Shopping Center. That's her favorite center. If you recall from an earlier recording, that's where she made the All-Mall team for 8 years in a row, and last year made MVP as most valuable purchaser. Well, we walked into the little eyeglasses place. I needed some glasses, and a very energetic, enthusiastic young man came up and offered charity. He said, may I help you? Well, I was grateful for help. I said to him, yes, I need some of those glare-proof glasses. He said, oh, are you a photographer? I said, no, I never got involved in photography because of all of the negatives. He said, he said, are you a producer? And I said, no, I'm a speaker. And he said, well, what do you speak on? And I said, well, motivation, positive thinking, leadership. I do a lot of family seminars, courtship after marriage, raising positive kids in a negative world. Do a lot in sales training, goal setting, and that sort of thing. And he brightened up noticeably. He said, oh, kind of like Zig Ziglar. and I said, well, sort of. And the redhead pointed her finger at me and she said, this is Zig Ziglar. Well, he was a very cool young man. He backed up a couple of feet, looked me over pretty good, and he started shaking his head. He said, oh, no. Oh, no. He said, I've seen videotapes of Zig Ziglar, and Zig Ziglar is always jumping up and down. He said, no, this is not Zig Ziglar. So I said to the redhead, you see there, sweetheart, I told you we weren't going to be able to fool this young man. He's probably looking for some 40 or 50-year-old codger, and he sees us two youngsters walk in, and he looks me over real good, and he knows I could never be Zig Ziglar. And the young man kind of nodded his head and said, yep, that's right. Well, we went ahead with the transaction. He got ready to do the paperwork. He picked up his pen, and he said, now, what is your name? And I said, well, I spell it Z-I-G-L-A-R. He literally dropped his pen on the counter. He said, you are Zig Ziglar. I said, yeah, I have been a long time. Now, I want to make a very important point. The young man had a picture of me in his mind. And as far as that picture went, it was okay, because on occasion I do jump up and down, and I do get kind of loud and exuberant and enthusiastic. But the reality is the picture he had of me was so narrow and so shallow that it bore no resemblance to who I am and what I can do. I have found that to be very, very true of people. I do a lot of reading, a lot of research, And what I have found is that most people have a picture of themselves which is so narrow and so shallow that it bears no resemblance to who they are and what they can do. Most people have no earthly idea as to what they can do because all they've ever been told is what they cannot do. According to psychologist Chad Helmstetter, the average 16-year-old has been told 17,000 times, no, or you can't do that. Now, you tell a youngster 17,000 times they can't do something, and the first thing you know, they will begin to believe it. The picture is so incredibly important. Now, most people have no earthly idea, therefore, what they can do because they don't know who they are. They do not know what they really want out of life because they do not know what's available for them. Now, for them is the key. They can readily see where you could do it, and you could do it, and you could do it, and you could do it, but poor little old me, I could never do those things. And so what we want to work at is changing the picture so that we can recognize just what is inside of us. To repeat myself again, man was designed for accomplishment. That's you. Engineered for success and endowed with the seeds of greatness. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. In an earlier recording, I talked about